A customer deposited 14,000 in a saving account. A customer deposited 14,000 shillings. So this customer deposited 14,000 shillings in a savings account. Finds the accumulated amount. Finds the accumulated amount after 1 year if interest was paid. If interest was paid at 12% per annum, compounded quarterly. So compounded quarterly. A customer deposited 14,000 in a savings account, finds the accumulated amount after 1 year. So after 1 year, the accumulated amount after 1 year, if the interest is paid at 12% per annum but compounded quarterly. Okay, it's compounded quarterly. Now, where do we start from? Yes? Where do we start from? So other particular points? Now, these are quarterly. So what will be the rates for every interest period? For every interest period, what will be the rate? Then we ask ourselves, in a year, how many quarters do we have? I love the way we are responding. Okay, so in a year we have 4 quarters of 3 months. So you are referring to 3 months, I believe so. Fine. Now we wish to begin from the rate, because the rate is multiplied n times. So if R percent is multiplied n times, then the interest rate at the interest period will be given as R over n. Okay, so our rate is 12% and it's compounded quarterly. So divide by 4, this will give you 3%. So our R is 3%. Are we together? So if our R is 3%, then we can therefore calculate for the first quarter what was the interest, and by the end of that quarter, what was the accumulated amount. Then we calculate again for the second quarter all the way to the fourth quarter. I believe we can get started. Yes? We are beginning with the first quarter. So with the first quarter, what we are saying at this particular point, the first quarter, we say that interest is given as principal multiplied by rate multiplied by time out of 100. So, how much was deposited? 14,000. Multiplied by R, which is 3, multiplied by T. For our case, that is the first quarter. So, it's still 1 divided by 100. So, how much do we have? Okay. Sorry? 420 shillings. That is the interest. So by the end of the first quarter, what is the amount? Amount is given as principal added to interest. So check 14,000 added to 420. That should give you 14,420. That is the first quarter. So if we look at the second quarter, for our case, the 14,420 becomes the principal. Okay, can we now calculate again our interest for the second quarter, which is given as 14,420. Our rate is still 3%. Our period is still 1. Then over 100. That's how math is. Okay, so what do we have? $432.67. 46. 0.6. Okay, 0.60. Fine. So by the end of the second quarter, how much do we have? So again, 14,420 added to 432.60. So that should give you 14,852.60. That is the second quarter. We can do the same for the third quarter. Any challenge at this point? So the amount accumulated by the end of the second quarter becomes the principal of the third quarter. Okay, can we calculate for the third quarter? So for the third quarter, so our interest from what we have, multiply by 3, multiply by 1, divide by 100. Okay. What are we getting here? 45, 578, that is 58. Okay, so what will be the amount by the end of the third quarter? believe that's what you're supposed to be getting as your amount. Okay, let's see how much we are getting. 15,298.18. That's what we have by the end of the third quarter. So we can finish up the same year, and that gives us the fourth quarter. So for the fourth quarter, we are going to have our interest again. That is our 15,298.18 multiplied by our rate, which is 3%, multiplied by 1, divided by 100. So this time around, you should not go far away from your calculators. $458.95. So by the end of the fourth quarter, what will be the amount? 157. 15,075. 57.13. So by the end of the year, which now completes the fourth quarter, which is the interest period, this person will have obtained this amount of money because it is compounded quarterly. So by the end or by the fourth quarter, then that gives us the amount of money accumulated in that savings account. Okay, any question?